Alright, what's up, yins guys? Namnus motherfucking day, motherfuckers. Time for another video. I got some practice session that I'm going to put in the corner of this video, but what we're going to do today is the thing I always tell people that, you know, the side split, some days you can do it and some days you can't, and there's a bunch of reasons and separate videos I want to get into why. But, this front split thing, you know what I mean? That keeps us from, well, whether you're a martial artist or that cheerleader bow and arrow, you're damn near, whether you're a dude or chick, it's damn near the same. But even though I could do it in a lot of my videos and there's people who could do it better than me, there's a thing about this side split. Some of us have a different thing with the hips and you got to be careful with the side split. And today we're going to make our case where some of us do stuff, you know, in our actual occupations. We're not call ourselves yoga people, and I'm here because there's different reasons for it. Whether you do construction jobs in your occupation, different things, and you wear knee pads because I think you should, you know. And you can be a truck driver, construction, and this stuff can prevent you from breaking your fucking ankle. But yes, if you do too much, you can get hurt too, but it's supposed to prevent you from getting hurt. You can get that if you don't go showing it to people. It can be your best kept secret why you don't have these accidents and other kind of videos that I want to talk extensively about. But anyway, reason I prefer using knee pads. I don't do that shit. Nothing against it. I got a lot of wonderful people I study on yoga. We have to have something that's our bag, our unique thing, and why we're here. And if, say, you were thinking about trying to do some of the stuff besides, you know, just being able, wanting to look good. Besides wanting to look at girls, you know, nothing wrong with that. But instead of all that perverted bullshit, you know, instead of sitting on your ass, if you want to think about trying some of the shit, you know, and not get discouraged, I would almost hope with you. I don't give a fuck if you like me or you don't like me, but well, I would like to think if you're some dude that thinks about, oh, you're just looking at girls, and of course you've got to be looking at all these different dudes on here too and comparing yourself to them, looking at a little bit of everybody too, but you want to be able to do some shit. But if you have an occupation, you have to act, put your face on, and deal with people. Some days you don't feel like you don't even fucking like, and some days you almost want to bust them in their damn eye or whatever that shit, you know. I mean, day to day, I mean, you may not have time for this shit, but this is for you. But anyway, enough of that talk. What I was trying to say, knee pads, because in my occupations, some people don't tell you to, that I prefer to, you know, if you think you've got to stoop too much. But why you can use steel-toed or work boots, because seeing you're on your knees instead of the yoga mat shit, nothing wrong with it, but why I want to say that why I'm different is, like, you know, like you're using this foot, you get down on one knee, you want to use this foot, and there's a part where if you don't have a habit of doing certain things with this foot, you know, well, you see it in a football game, you know, and even athletically trained people, the best of them, shit happens with ankles, shit happens. And I just did a video where Christy Brinkley, God bless her, you know, that, you know, they're training, shit happens. I mean, everything you do, exercise, pre-train, I'm not saying it's going to stop accidents. Anyway, there's these arguments about people, oh, you shouldn't do this in the workplace, but yet your fucking occupation is more fucking hazardous. And there's a thing about, they see you, they see you do this, and it makes you, it's their secret to walking around more confident. Man, they find a way to fire your ass. But, you know, enough about that. What I'm trying to say here is reason why I can't, some of these other stretches that I'm not perfect at yet lies between being able to do a perfect front split, which is discouraging to some people. But if you can do about this much, you're still good, you know. And matter of fact, even this much for people that like hurts like hell to be able to go down like this. But I mean, if I could get my front split a little better, then I'd be able to do sitting like the bow and arrow, like the cheerleaders of martial arts do, without even standing against the thing, like in some of my videos. But yeah, like this is my thing, whether you're a cheerleader or a martial artist, whatever you want to take as your choice combative or sport or anything, that I'm not professing any of that, but there's a thing, just because you can kick high if it's an athletic thing, you're on your way, but you can be an American Ninja Warrior or whatever. But anyway, something about this, like the front split, I am admitting I'm kind of bad at, but I'm getting better. There's this thing that this hip back here doesn't always want to go, so in my videos I've seen, even the ones with music, you're still fucking working on it. That's just the way that is. But I'm trying to play like in some of your earlier videos, if you're barely starting. Even that's why I let my old videos be on. You're first doing a side split. I think people get discouraged. There's no fucking shame. It's going to look like this, but even this to some people can be painful. I mean, that's why I'm trying to create for you and not be ashamed of it, that there's different phases. And sometimes you gain it and you lose it. But my thing behind this foot, be able to do this, is be able to draw it back. Go like this. Then, whether you're wearing some kind of gloves, be able to do this. I mean, I wanted to, this is for some people that are following me, want to know this shit. Because I'm kind of, trying to show you things like this, because there's a thing where I don't want anybody, even say myself, you got to admit, don't be macho, admit to yourself, even lifting weights, admit certain things to yourself, or certain other things that you train in secret, or your buddies will say, oh, you're being a pussy, what are you doing that lightweight shit? There's always lighter shit because you've got smaller tendons. You're stretching or even lifting weights, there's smaller things that you can damage even for life. It's happened to football players and that. There's no fucking shame. And there's a lot of other reasons, like when you're using construction work, being able to use tools, stuff that's self-explanatory, that it can lead to, in an absolute emergency, that you don't go around telling people like that you could or do, but if you have to, put it that way. That's all I'm telling you. I mean, but anyway, this is unlike just yoga. This is also, you can be anywhere. You can go be out hiking with hiking boots, and you can be in some kind of a semi-wooded area, construction site. You're walking up and down a hill with dump trucks and high lifts and excavators, and you can be in any kind of terrain. It could be rocky, some shit you may be having to do. You can be a truck driver doing this on the truck or pallets, like in some of my videos. Like, this is what the shit's about. But anyway, okay. What we want to do next is, like, you can have some people, it's painful. Say, you get this far, even you're having your elbow down here, and even like this, even if you can't touch your foot like I'm doing now, this is not by any standards and yoga standards, like you're still in transition, a good front split. But yet, even if you get this far and want to just do this for the rest of your life, it's better than, getting used. It's better to do that and get used to it rather than, say if you're running down a hill and you slide, or you're doing some kind of, I don't know, sport, you're able to doing this a little bit. It'll keep. There's a fine line between and half injuring yourself and injuring yourself worse. This can save you. But yet, yes, you can do too much of it and hurt yourself too. But anyway, so you're able to go, and if you want to use an object that I bring with me right now, put your hand on to get your hand a little higher. Say if you can't, you've put a lot of people like in yoga blocks, but if you want to have, even put a fucking coffee can or a bucket over here where I see this, you see this hand, push yourself up. But if you don't, you got this. And then say you can use that to scoot yourself back, but you can see the front split is still imperfect. Eventually you can balance yourself up, but this even doesn't look perfect in a video either. I can, but then that's where you just keep going with your foot and do a lot of this. I mean, you don't know how some of you can even get that far or not. Like some of you, if you do a little, some kind of martial art or whatever you do, like I says, I don't profess any of that. Not all of us are going to be able to just kick like you see on these people on TV, whether it's a cheerleader or karate expert, and hold that foot up in the airway like that, or a dancer. A lot of us probably will never be able to do, but And a lot of the stuff, if you even show this much to certain people, you're going to get that people, the different kind of people saying their shit, or the stoner laugh, or some humorous remarks, because there's some kind of weird code that even if you lift a little weights or do a little this, that, I don't know, you're supposed to walk around in whatever it is nowadays, be a mamby-pamby, where have that childlike look in t-shirt and shorts, it's in bow down to the hierarchy, whether it's authority or the other authority out there, or a hierarchy in the streets that would, I don't know, kick your ass if you walk around too cocky or whatever the hell. Something against being strong a certain way that some people don't like, and some people, but if you're have your little clique that respects it, you know, instead of being belittled out of it, you know, hang with the people that are into it. Just that, you know. But anyway, see, like, there's that problem with that hip. It's not always going completely out. Yes, I notice I'm talking a lot of things, getting digs in about certain things. I'm trying not to go on and on, but I could do whole videos about it. Anyway, there's these codes, unlike your yoga on YouTube all over with the yoga mats. There's a lot of stuff out there that some of the people that are accomplished in yoga, have their own gyms or whatever, will look at you like you're nuts, you know what I mean, too, for even suggesting that. But yeah, in some areas, whether you're a dude or a chick or whatever, you're supposed to stay in whatever box you're told to stay in, and you either get belittled or even threatened or shamed or whatever. Do anything to get strong some kind of other way. It's considered challenging and confrontational, whether it's your workplace or certain neighborhoods you're in, you know, people you're with. Okay, but anyway, on with, before I forget, to try to improve that front split. And the reason why I want to wear knee pads too, like that too, and then have something to hold on to, like when you go and do this foot, you know, you don't want to fuck up your knee. And then this don't look like much, but a lot of people, even this much or even less than this, is kind of painful. The key, what I'm saying here, is don't force yourself, because you know why? Some of us, unlike the rest of the people that are already accomplished in the full-blown yoga or martial arts, this is my argument, some of us, the hip doesn't always go. It's a stubborn thing. It doesn't want to round out, and I get it as far as I can. Who knows? Some days you're better at it, and sometimes I'm not. But like I said, even if you stay like this, if you force it too much, when in my experience, you'll start feeling something that ain't right in the hip. If it's something, you should be feeling a muscle stretch, and if it's not, you're feeling some kind of stinging in your knee or in the hip, that you can be damaging the cartilage. You just come out of it and then start all over and go a little bit again. And even if it's just like this, feel something ain't right, come out of it, reset, do it again as many times as it takes. You know, many times as it takes. But then there's the standing up thing I do every once in a while. I'll try to get you a clip, stick a clip in here of it. If you're holding on to an item, stand up, and you see it all over YouTube. You're standing up and doing that. You may not be able to do a full scorpion like either a cheerleader or some of the martial artists do, but you can do it somewhat. You can get the back of your head, more power to you, but some of us may never. But you still got to do that, something like this, because some people will even use couches and chairs. Like, I had to get updated video where I'm using a chair. And then there's that thing, if you're in one of your, if you're in your socks in your house or something, you're holding on to an item, and you being able to, while you're shaving in the bathroom, say in the sink, you're just, if you're a small bathroom, have that foot pushed back up and trying to do a squirt. There's ways of doing that shit, you know what I mean? But to get that stretch out, you don't want to force. Some of us, we don't want to damage that knee or that hip and don't want to round out, because even when I watch my own videos, I see right there what I'm trying to show you. You guys can help spot it right away. Some people get discouraged because their anatomical structure is different. You can watch your own videos or somebody else's and compare them and see where you got them. You got this one leg that's more stubborn than the other. And I'm yammering on and on, but this is for some people that I know for a fact are watching that actually asked me, and this is helping, you know. So, then, like I said, you're able to balance like this. You'll start sliding down some more as you keep doing it. But then the next day, I'll get this far, and then basically in a session, I'll be starting over. And then I have to do it a couple of damn times, just like side splits. See what I mean? I'm using that foot. And see, you're getting there, but, it's not entirely perfect. That's why I want to try to keep some of my failure video clips. I regret that I deleted some of them. I'm not ashamed of it, because it should be a learning tool, something. Even if you don't put your shit on YouTube, play it yourself, because unlike a mirror, you can play something back and a video you can see from a different view. Even if you don't put it on YouTube, this is what you should be doing, you know what I mean? It's kind of like a record, if you will. But then, okay, one more thing to show you here too. I use elbow pads for this sometimes too, but even if you have your elbow like this, you're stretching here too, and just is believe it or not, some people, if you're just beginning, this is going to be painful for you. But then when you're able to do this, when I first started, I couldn't even touch this foot. This is not by any standards a very good, but to some people it's pretty painful. Even if you do nothing but get this far, if you're doing certain things in your occupation, it can be your best kept secret, you know what I mean? You do a little bit of this and you don't even have to have the total flexibility. You'd be able to stand on your feet for hours longer without your back hurting. Because that's what I wanted to tell you too. If you're this far in this video, you get that one, everybody gets that one leg that starts getting real tense. And it goes into your back, and your back will be hurt. That's why I'm fucking 47 years old and people accuse me of being on drugs and everything too, because I can just walk and trot around. Everybody drinks and smokes if it floats their boat. You get accused of being on meth and cocaine. You can just trot right around for hours and it doesn't bother you. But I'm a fucking human too. I get fucking tired, and you'll be somewhere, I can't, I'm tired of doing this shit already, and I can't stand so-and-so. I like to bust them in an eye. And plus I see that they're jealous of you because you seem to be able to handle some things, and some places turn up the heat on you. Whether it's the people next to you and the people, the bosses in the workplace, some are better than others. Some of them respect you, and some respect you for it when they see. Where other ones, he thinks he's shit or whatever. You're supposed to bring yourself down a notch and be some mamby-pamby, maybe t-shirts and shorts, and wear your hair like this childlike look. Nothing against the way people dress. I got friends that dress a certain way, but you know how you can say that with any kind of clothes or whatever. Or the same way, like the classic nerds who dress piece like some dork, and whether on the streets or in the workplace or some kind of wear, different levels of authority, so-called authority we have in there, you're supposed to bring yourself down a notch some kind of way or outside. It's considered challenging and confrontational, or hurts people's feelings, or disrespectful, or whatever the fuck people think. They give you the hints right away when I don't think. But anyway. But yeah, we're unlike, like the people the Christians on YouTube are saying anything that looks like yoga, even though you don't call it. There's some people who call this, if you call it pilates, they're okay with it. Pilates, I saw one Mysteries of the Museum. The dude that invented the Pilates, he was a prisoner in Germany and all that other stuff. Very wonderful story, look it up. But some people, there's like a thing where you got the regressive, people say regressive liberals, but there's also regressive conservatives, because the difference between a regressive conservative is like them ones on YouTube, anything that looks like yoga is satanic. But then you got the athletic Christian that maybe they don't want to call anything yoga, they don't believe in any of that own shit, but they play a little football and things like that. So again, all Christians ain't bad. Some of them are assholes, but you can never respect yourself. But then there's the other side that ain't religious. They use another kind of authority that either hurts people's feelings or challenging and confrontational. The side that hates the Christians, and they're just as bad. The regressive liberal or regressive neo-socialist or whatever, that only the people the enforcing class, you know, their police they put in, or the people on the street that they want to put in, that they can get you to beat you up if you get out of line, and you're not allowed to. So there, it's not just a religious thing. You'll be in certain places next to people. That what I'm doing right here, even though it ain't even, it could be better, is considered a wrong. You know, even if they don't say it outright, they have these hints of belittling or harass you some kind of way, or try to make things hard for you, or even try to block you from making a living or anything, you know. But yet this is unlike your actual yoga. It's a variety of reasons, you know what I mean? It's a, well, you're doing it anyway, one way or another type of thing, or like a multi-purpose, multi-intention thing, you know, too. But anyway, say like, go like this, you know. Eventually you should be able to, you know, almost like try to do like a thing like you're trying to do that bow and arrow thing, you know, have your hand right here, or hold a baton here, something, wait, like this, pull your foot like that, or even if it ain't perfect, say put your arm like this anyway, if you can get closer, roll yourself over like this, and I'm holding onto that foot, and say when you're using boots too, you got more of something to grab onto. And the way I'm different, if you got this far, instead of fucking the gym shoes or tennis shoes, hey, your NFL cheerleaders are wearing boots, and now I think that's a really attractive feature. Boots are cool. So that proves too that, well, in a yoga sense, and you know, there's the yoga mats, there's those disciplines, nothing against it, but hey, you get your NFL cheerleaders that, hey, some of you guys out there got your NFL cheerleaders on the calendars and you're looking at them on air. Hey, they're wearing boots, and I think them boots with them heels have an advantage, so why the fuck can't you wear steel-toed boots and be doing this, like say you're an occupation. Hey, maybe you have to be a truck driver or working around trucks. Try to relieve yourself stress by doing some of this, you know. Hey, I imagine there's probably these truck drivers that have a ponytail and a cowboy hat and go to some bar in our day off and drink beer, you know, the cowboy hat truck driver with a ponytail and beard, karate guy and all that stuff like you see on the movies, you know. Not that you're like one of them two, but, you know any of those personally, you know where it's at, you know. I think everybody should be able to do a little bit of something. It depends how far you get. Because, like, say, when you get older, is I think what this does, some people are trying to say, oh, you shouldn't do none of that, it causes this and that. Bullshit! If you do too much of it, my thing, if you do too much of it at a younger age in athletic and forcing it, use something to sneak into using some kind of painkillers so that you don't feel the pain. It's better to feel the pain if it takes you a little longer. But in my book, say if you don't force yourself to go any further, if you want to stretch that back hamstring out, you see, even if you don't force yourself to stretch anymore, just a little bit, you'll notice right away you could be on your feet at a workplace way longer, and it won't be going into your back, guaranteed. You know what I mean? You got to do it. And what I'm stressing is there's no fucking shame. You do a little bit as you go, and if you see the difference, and even I myself didn't plan on getting as far as I did. It ends up happening anyway too, but like I said, gradual. But then there's a lot of this, even if you can't do a full-blown pose, like this, and bringing your elbows out does a lot, you know what I mean? You got to do a little bit of that once in a while. Then, just be able to roll yourself over. Getting up, how other people get up. To be able to get up quicker, or use the knee to get up. Or you can see when you're practicing it in videos how easier it is to get up. But then do one of these again, you know, you can even do a stretch like this, you know, with the knee pads. And then, you know, a little bit like this. Don't worry about how it looks at first. You know, just try different shit to see how it works, and then maybe record it in a video and fucking play it back, you know. And if you think you're better enough or something to you know, post it. If not, but you can look back on the old ones and see your damn progress, you know. But then when you get there, like I said, it's like this. If you're even like this, I see it, a ancient medieval practice that I talk about does this, you know, even a little bit of this, but it seems to come from this. Like I said before you can, even if you can't do a perfect straddle stretch, you see that straddle stretch in this, whether you're doing against the wall, just bring your back, and see what I can do is whether you're on your feet doing it, or kind of be in a habit of pivoting the foot a little bit. Try to go a little further like this, like stretch like you have a cat, if you have a dog, or cats do this a lot, but in a different way. And go like this a little bit, but then crawl back. Good. Making sure you can get out of it real easy. But then there's a point where if your ground ain't too slippery like concrete, you can do that. Go a little farther, like that. But like I said too, this rough concrete has its advantages. That I can do that without sliding and doing a split and ripping my groin too soon, or some gravel like I did some videos in. But trying to remember what else I covered here. But yeah, I do this on ice before if you're ready and brave enough, you know, to slide your feet in and out like yes on ice. But I have a pair of gloves where the knuckles are like that, where they don't slip on ice. I want to do another one of them someday. Then you got something where you can, your feet don't got to worry about slipping. You can gradually do this. And then, say even at this level. But say you're even this far, it could be painful to you, you know, you can get right up like that. Then go back down again. Get back up. Whatever it takes. If you even stand like that for a couple seconds, keep getting back up. Do it, because don't force yourself, because they say it'll start as stretching a muscle, right? And all of a sudden you feel something that's not a muscle stretching in a hip or in a knee. Come the fuck out of it quick and go back in. Do it as many times as it takes. Keep repeating it, even if it's a few seconds, and start over. And then you'll get it. But like I said too, even if you don't go this far, there's a certain practice that don't seem to require you to be able to do a full side split. It's like a Persian martial art thing that you use, the Indian club, which I think combined with the American club bell, the American style club bell that I see on YouTube, wonderful idea, and you just make your own version of it. And in my case, like says, with a baton too, if you're a dude or chick. Different size Indian clubs, I mean, you know, merge it a little bit. And anyway, yeah, whether you're on your hands, you want to do a tricep push-up like this, with or without the thumbs, or like this. But you notice right there too that, and like this, or like this. Keep doing this a whole bunch of times, because when you get that, there's that windmilling people do while they're standing up too. But I noticed that some of us need that exercise more than others. Come out of it, go back into it, and then see how far you can get this time. And up, hold it, and then down. And back up again, and like that. Watch this and make sure your pants don't get caught a certain place when you're doing the stretches like that. So I actually ripped a pair of pants. I left that be in the video. When you get that far, I used to preach to say if you're wearing some kind of a jeans that's tighter, Did it hold? Yes, it does, but yes, it will eventually rip the groin of the pants. That hem there will rip. I had it happen. So there's truth to what I was saying, but I found out, yes, the pants will eventually rip. So don't be surprised. I think even in slide, these pants weren't even tight. There was like a slightly bagginess, but I think when your legs are out enough like this, it goes tight somewhere and cause them to rip. So. But anyway, just go with different. What we're doing here is assessing your. Go around like this, see what's needed. You know, windmill it a little bit. I notice when you do more of this, you seem to almost be going down lower. Come out of it and recover. Then do it again. And you know, you're moving them heels around a little bit. See, like that. What you're doing is you're kind of rocking a little bit like this, or like this, and you see in the camera, you're going to see where your heels are going, where your toes are going, and the way you're being seated there. And say maybe one day you don't feel like you only go this far. Just in case, don't fucking force it. It's like I said in some of my videos, man. If you're already able to do it, some of us, you know, you got to pay attention to your. If you don't feel something right, even some people that are better than you, all of a sudden can rip something. You always got to be doing some kind of different moving around, swaying that way, and assessing things. So you're planning your escape. You know, that's why you do a lot of this, because you got to get used to locking yourself in different positions and escaping, you know. But then you almost want to fall backwards, and get out of it that way if you're on a mat. But there's some things that happen that create shock to your system, and you can fuck something up too, you know. Yeah, don't laugh. It's happened. You know what I mean? So if you have a fear of just trying to get out of a split like this and falling back on a mat, it's not on your head. Something's telling you, yes, there's something associated with that. Yeah, you can fuck yourself up too. Yes, you can. But it doesn't mean that doing any of this is wrong. People were able to do it. See, like this, what you don't see in the side camera is, you know, you're kind of arching yourself a little bit too. You know what I mean? But I'm trying to give you an idea how the legs are, my hips are different than everybody else's, and I'm actually leaning forward. Just trying to, or you can go like this. You're leaning forward instead of going down like this and doing push-ups. I'm going like this and leaning forward. Do all kind of shit like that, you know what I mean? And whether you use your fists to get up or whether you go and get up like this, you know, do whatever works. But all right, here we go. One more time here, and that's enough for today. But like that. Yeah. Hey. Oh yeah, and this, if you've been with me this long, this typically happens too. You do some of your leg squats and other things like I do in my videos. Yes, you're going to be battling with losing a lot of the flexibility. It happens, you know. Some people out there, unlike that guy that I seen on there, what's his name, begins with a J, how do you pronounce his name, and ends with the letter U. He can do that big barbell over his head while doing splits on the fucking chairs. He don't seem to have that problem, and he lifts weights and everything and is very heavily built. But some of us, it's not uncommon that some people almost have to choose between muscle bulk and things like that, the weightlifting strength, and choose between that and the flexibility, you know. it's almost like some of us, it's like you gotta either have one or the other, but you want to have some of each. You know, you can keep some of each, but some of us, it's almost like they're all damn near forced to choose between one and the other, and you don't have to. I mean, you have a little bit of each, you know. I don't know, but then there it is. All right, one more time. Yeah. Yeah. But see, some of the other ones I'm able to stay longer, see. That's another thing, you know, I was doing some of my other stuff too, and hey, that's the reality of it too, you know what I mean? You just gotta keep at it. But if you do any of your leg exercises like I do in some of the other videos, you lose some of it. Hey, and you're doing some work too, where you're always stooping with your legs. Hey, we're all different, you know?